Hi BookTube, I'm here with a currently reading library haul type thing. I didn't get many books up from the library because it's close to the end of the month and I have to concentrate on, my books are all over the place, on 3 books. I don't know where the other one is. It's in a big pile here that I don't want to ruffle through. I have to concentrate on finishing Hounds of Harrogen by Jason Shannon, which is a fictional book about like what if Genghis Khan had successfully taken over the world. So there's that. I'm about halfway through, more than halfway through, because a lot of this is like notes and like characters and glossary, which is very helpful. And then I have The Secret History of the Mongol Queens I'm finishing. The great courses aren't going that great because it's like an hour commitment every day to watch those. So what I'm going to do with the Mongol, the barbarians, Empires of the Steppe, is just go through and watch ones that are of particular interest. And I say that because it was getting a bit repetitive, because there's a lot of the same, this, they moved this way and then they came into contact with the West and then the battles, and it's just, I found it really repetitive. So I decided to skip a few of those. And then I'm still reading Inspired. I think I only have 1 chapter left. That book is amazing. I love it. So that book is about like looking at the Bible through the different genres within the Bible. Here, let me grab it. Here it is. So she talks about resistance stories, wisdom stories, war stories, deliverance stories, origin stories. This last chapter is church stories, fish stories, and it's just, I'm really super enjoying it. I'm going to go to the last one tagged like I did my last video. Okay. Oh, this was interesting. Okay. So if you know the story of Jesus feeding the fish, it happens twice, right? This is a bit complicated. I'm still gonna explain it because I feel like talking about it. So he does it with 5 and then he does it with 7. So these numbers must be significant because in Mark's gospel, Jesus quizzes the disciples about them on a boat ride to Bethsaida. When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many basketfuls of pieces did you pick up? He asked as they all sailed across the Sea of Galilee. 12, they reply. And when I broke the 7 loaves for the 4,000, how many basketfuls of pieces did you pick up? 7, they answer. Do you still not understand? Jesus asks. That's Mark chapter 8, verses 19 to 21. And that's the end of it. The question just hangs there. Reading along, one might respond, well, no, actually, I don't understand. What am I missing? In Judaism, certain numbers carry special theological significance, and most scholars believe the numbers in these stories symbolically underscore the expansion of Jesus' ministry from the Jewish community to the greater Gentile world. The number 12 recalls the 12 tribes of Israel, and is often employed in Scripture to refer to the Jewish people. Remember, Jesus began his ministry with 12 disciples. The number 7 carries Gentile connotations and also signifies fullness or completion. This interpretation finds support in the fact that the first miracle took place in a Jewish neighborhood near the Sea of Galilee, whereas the second occurred in Decapolis, a Gentile area. The point then is that Jesus intends to feed and bless not just the Jews, but also the Gentiles, thus bring to fruition God promised to Abraham that through his people the entire world would be blessed. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, I like this too. Okay. I am Christian, explained Baptist preacher and human rights activist Allison Robinson, because I don't always know if this story is true, but I choose to live my life as if it were. I choose to live as if the things Jesus died for were worthy of God's sacrifice and therefore worthy of mine. So, I really am really enjoying this. I'm kind of pinning off finishing it because of that. Do you do that ever? Do you start reading a really good book and then just not want to finish it because you don't want it to end? That happens to me a lot. Okay, so here's the library haul part. I was only supposed to get 3 books. Oh, I don't need a bookmark in this anymore. So I got The Arab of the Future, Volume 2. I don't know why I keep reading this. The kids in this are horrible. They're killing animals and oh my god. It's horrible, but I keep wanting to read it and see where it goes. I don't know if he goes into adulthood, but we will see. Yeah, these are really quick to read. And then I also got Fruit Baskets, Collector's Edition, Volume 2. I haven't started this one yet, but I read these super fast, even though they're super thick. Yeah, so, this one's about a kid. His mom's French, his dad's Syrian, and he's decided to move them to Syria, and it's about his life growing up there, especially after having lived in France for the first few years of his life, and noticing all the differences and stuff in the cultures. Fruits Baskets is about a girl who lives with a bunch of guys who are embodiments of the Chinese astrological system, and if they get touched or hugged by the opposite sex, they then turn into those creatures. It's cute, but it's also like there's a lot of really like touching moments. It's really like heartwarming book to read. And then also in the graphic novel section, I decided to pick up Batman Damned. Just the art in this is amazing. I won't show you that scene. It's not in here anyways. They kind of whatchamacallit. This is one of my favorite pictures right there. They censored it. That's what they did. Yeah, the art is just so detailed. Oh yeah, there's like also disturbing stuff going on here. Yeah, and this is about the Joker is found dead, or they think they find the Joker dead, and it looks like Batman may have done it, but we don't know. Like, look at this detail. Like, it's amazing, the art. I don't even really care about the story. I just want to look at the art while reading this. I'm halfway through that, only because, I don't know, my attention got called away by something. And then I decided I could pick up one small book, and I noticed that this was the only Stuart McLean book that I didn't have on my shelf, so I decided to pick it up and try it. And this is Revenge of the Vinyl Cafe, and yeah, it's cute. They're just, the Vinyl Cafe are stories of mostly Dave and Morley. They're a couple. It's all Canadian, and it's just like very like homey, you know, nothing bad is gonna happen, everything's gonna be good, kind of sorry, I just was remembering that story. Kind of story is this one. The first one is he gets trapped in the sewer. And he meets this kid who's convinced he's a monster and won't help him because he's like, I'll get in trouble for talking to strangers and you're a monster. He's like, no, go get your mom. It's funny. It's very funny. They're just heartwarming stories. I enjoy reading those. But as I was walking away, this was on my April list for the library, but it was on, I gotta stop walking past those cylinders and looking at them. They have like these, like, just like, I don't know, they're like pillars right by the elevator, and they got like interesting books on them, like newer books and, you know, books that have a lot of hype or whatever. And that's why I read Sorrowland last time I went to the library, and this was on there, and I thought it's meant to be. I have to pick it up now because I might not get it for April. So this is Fires of Vengeance. This is the sequel to Rage of Dragons, which I really enjoyed last year, the year before. And it's about this culture that's really set up in different like classes, and has a lot to do with war and soldiers and magic. And we follow Tao in the first book as he decides that he wants to become the greatest warrior of all time. And the training he goes through it was amazing. That's what I really liked about the last one. And that it's like the chapters are nice and short, so it's really fast paced. Yeah, and this is the sequel. I can't really tell you about the sequel because that will spoil the other one. So yeah, that's my library haul right there. And I think, I'm listening to an audiobook. I was looking for my phone to show you, but I can't. And that is How High We Go in the Dark by, his name is after Sequoia something. Sequoia, How High We Go in the Dark. Let me just see if I can find it. How High. Oh, okay, I don't have it listed. Oh, because I downloaded it on the phone, not on here. I don't have the list. Okay, How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia something. Japanese last name. I'm not editing this video, so I can't put it in. I'll try and remember to put it in the description. And that is a really cool, it's like a series of short stories that all take place in this world. They're all interconnected. And the world is that there's a pandemic going on that was released from like an ancient Siberian like corpse, and yeah, mostly affects children. And like funeral places are now like the biggest companies ever. And there's like amusement parks that are like euthanasia parks where like you can put a kid on a roller coaster when they're, you know, near the end of the pandemic, like of the illness, and aren't going to live. And it kills them. And then there's one about a pig that develops intelligence and begins to talk. They're doing like experiments on it in the lab to, you know, research about the pandemic. There's a wonderful story, a very touching story. Like it's there's some extraordinary things like that, but then there's like very simple stories about like this woman, she runs like a forensics lab, but also like dealing with the pandemic as well, like researching that with corpses. And she develops this great friendship with this man who's decided that after he dies from this illness, he's going to donate his body to her. And yeah, it was just a very more simple story as opposed to like these big, you know, more scientific stories. Yeah, it's really good. I really highly recommend it. I think I only have like 2 hours left, and it's one of those ones where I'm putting it off too because it's so good. Yeah, I think that's it for reading right now. I started a new job, so my reading's been a little disrupted because I had to do an overnight, a 16-hour overnight. So I managed to finish Heir of the Future on that, but then because I was training, so I was there with another person, we ended up watching 10 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which was awesome actually. But now I'm gonna be like, it's a casual position, so I'll be doing different shifts. I don't have a set shift. So I think I'm only doing one overnight in the next 2 weeks. But that time it's only 8 hours. I can only split it up. And I'll be hopefully able to get some reading done because it's just basically just sitting there in case anyone needs you. What I'm doing, I should explain that too, is I work in a home that's, it's a residence for people with mental health issues who can't live on their own. So yeah, it's pretty cool job. So that's it. Let me know what you're currently reading, and thank you for watching.